Alright everyone, welcome back to today's video. We're gonna look at the charts real quick. Hope you guys all had a great weekend. In crypto, not a lot has happened. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive straight into the charts. We're only going to quickly look at BTC and ETH. Bitcoin still trading in this channel, as you can see right here. Not a lot has happened. Also, if we look on the daily, it was actually a pretty quiet weekend. Went up a little bit on Saturday and went down also a little bit again on Sunday. So yeah, there's not really a see me gap right now. If we're zooming in a little bit more on the 4 hourly, then you see that we are still kind of in this channel. We also talked about the scenario that we might be in a falling wedge, which actually also still is possible. So I wouldn't say 100% clear we are in a channel or we are in a falling wedge. If we are in a falling wedge, then we are most likely going to break to the upside. I do have to say that the time that we are in the channel is quite long. Usually, if you would have a pattern, let's say a falling wedge or triangle, whatever, we break out approximately at 70% of the pattern. If you break out much earlier, let's say at 50%, then usually the breakout is not so strong or not so valid. If you break out later than the 70%, sometimes that then goes with a little bit more volume. Doesn't mean that the breakout is therefore more powerful. Sometimes you can also still have a wick up or down, or you don't meet the price target. So yeah, I would still stay a little bit careful here. Like I said, still both patterns, in my opinion, are in play. And I'm not saying that to cover both sides, but that is just right now the case. We've seen some wicks a little bit down, but eventually we always close right here at the line. So both are still in play. In case this is a falling wedge, then it's most likely that we are going to break to the upside, and it will give us a price target of approximately 52, 53,000, depends a little bit on when we're going to break it. If we would go down, then we would approximately or a little bit further meet the wick down that was set on December 4th. So yeah, I stick to my story where I said that I do not think that we will trend lower for a long time. We could go lower, most likely be a wick to shake out all the shorts, and then we are going higher. I find that much more of a logical scenario than us just really trending down. I also do not believe that we are in a full-on bear market. This is just a correction within the longer bull market, because again, if we look at the bigger picture, this is on the weekly, you just see that we're still going up. Yes, it has been bloody from the top, I know, but these corrections are all part of the game. That is crypto, and that is why it's so volatile. If you're day trading, again, happy days, because there's a lot of movements in the market, so that is great. Although the last few days, of course, has been pretty quiet, but I think once we are breaking out to the downside or the upside, there will most likely be a lot of volume. Another interesting thing before we go into ETH that I want to show you is that we are kind of also bottoming out. You see here the RSI is at the lower range, also not really breaking out or pumping higher, and the MACD is kind of crossing, not really yet. You want to see a clear cross. We could cross up, that doesn't mean right away then we're going up to the moon and that was the bottom, but sometimes you kind of see this going up and down here a little bit, and then we are going higher. But it could be the first signal of us bottoming out, and that also is then in line with what I said some time ago, that after you see such a big crash like this, 30-40%, the price needs sometimes several weeks to kind of correct, to find a bottom, to shake everyone out, to put the sentiment completely, stamping down in the floor, down the drain, before we are going higher. You barely see a very big wick down, 30-40%, and then suddenly boom, like a V-recovery shape up again. So yeah, so far it all looks pretty good. Just be careful, because again, you're getting slapped. Also for the MACD, if you look on the smaller time frames, this is also a little bit hard to trade. Let's say you would only trade the MACD. I absolutely do not advise you to do so, but let's say you would have done it. Then you see here, hey, we're going up. This was the crossing. Nope, we're going down again. Hey, we are testing it. Oh, no, we're not going down. We are bouncing up that line, and then here again, and then here again. So this is quite heavy. I will show you later on also the ETH charts, how difficult this is. So mostly on a higher time frame, it could be useful, but always use it together with other indicators. Do not only trust the MACD, but it's, like I said, especially on the higher time frames, you don't have those big wigs up and down that the cross constantly and then put you on the wrong path. Like if you look here on the weekly, you see this was a clear cross and also we're going down. This was a clear cross, we're going up. This was kind of a retest and then we're going up. There's a clear cross and we're going down. So the higher the time frame, the kind of easier it is to trade on this MACD and more clear the signal is. And the lower the time frame, the harder it is because you have so many like the lines testing each other, bouncing off, crossing. Then it was like a very slow cross, a very short crossing, and boop, we're going the other way again. So you see how difficult that is. And this is now right now on the hourly, just to show you how wicky it can be and how easily you can be put on the wrong path. That was it for BTC. Quickly go to ETH because that chart is becoming a little bit ugly, to be honest. If you are checking patterns, I know this looks quite chaotic, but try to follow me right here. There are multiple patterns playing out, and this is also quite hard right now to trade. You could say on the white lines, this was the falling wedge that we talked about the other day. We have this zigzag, then we broke out, then we have a retest, and then we bounce off, and now we're going further. At the same time, on a much higher time frame, you could also say we are still creating here a falling wedge on the blue lines that I've drawn here. And although we might had a kind of fake out here, it was being bought up quite swiftly, testing the top, and now we're going down again, testing the top, going down again, and we had a bounce off. So very wicky. At the same time, we still have these yellow lines, what I draw some time ago. These are the most important support and resistance lines that we need to hold or need to break. And then of course there is still this big fat yellow line that I drew here. This is already support since July. So yeah, it depends on a little bit what you are following. That could put you on the wrong path. This, by the way, is on the 8 hour. So yeah, at a certain point, I would advise you to also just take one pattern or take certain levels and just try to trade that if you really want to be in a trade. If you are a long-term holder, this is a perfect DCA moment. So just the dollar cost average in and out. Don't do anything on leverage. Just buy a little bit every day, every week, every month, whatever your strategy is then at the time. And I think these are great price levels to do so. Because also here, I absolutely do not believe that we are in a bear market. This is just a correction. And ETH has been very, very strong this year. Actually outperforming BTC. BTC is just lacking in a lot of moments, a lot of key moments, to be honest. So it's almost like ETH is now just a key indicator for when we're going up and down. So yeah, so far it looks good. If you also want to trade this on leverage, or more actively, actually I would say then just wait or take super tiny positions with a low leverage, stick to your screens, put in a stop loss, take your profits, don't go for the big fish, yeah, just small catches every time, a few percent up, down, boom, take it. This is not the time to be a hero, just take small positions. Once we are breaking out clearly on this bigger pattern, and we will make something like this with a retest, and going higher, and we also breaking a few of these key levels, then I would say strap on, because we are going much higher. That was then the end of the correction. We are not there yet. This could take time, so be very careful. Like I said, it looks messy, it looks tricky, it looks wicky. ETH is more volatile than BTC, so if you do not watch out, this is also a period that could completely wipe out your portfolio. And then when that moonshot comes, when we are trending higher again, like we have seen here, beautiful trend, uptrend, then you're liquidated. You don't have cash anymore. So be very careful. Just wait until everything has cleared up a little bit, and all the quote-unquote losers has lost their portfolio, and that is the time you want to step in and be more aggressive. So be careful. Fear and greed index. I also told you guys a few times already. If we are in fear or extreme fear, like we see right here, does not mean that we are going up tomorrow. We could trend here for a while. This is on the 3-month graph. You see that we're just kind of wiggling up and down, up and down. It's being squeezed a little bit. But yeah, it just means that the sentiment is pretty bad, which is great, because if we stay in this area for a few weeks within a bull market, that means that higher prices are yet to come. So that looks great. Let's zoom out even more a little bit on a year. You see also here, this has been quite a long period, of course, but also this one has been quite short, and now we are in like an intermediate period. I do not think that this period where we are in right now is as long as we have seen during the spring and the summer this year. So there will be, of course, the correction that we are in right now, but I think soon we will be going up. The only thing that I'm a little bit concerned about for the next 2 weeks is Christmas is coming up. We have New Year. Bigger parties are stepping out of the market if they are trading futures or ETFs or whatever. Therefore, there is less liquidity in the market, and therefore some of the whales could be pump and dumping certain coins much more easily because there is less liquidity, so they need less money to move the market. And that could be like the last few big wicks that we're talking about. It would coincide perfectly, actually, if we say, hey, we might get a wick down, that they're just waiting for, I don't know, Christmas Eve, whatever, to do it, to wick down, get a few billion extra out of the market, and then we're going up and trending higher for Q1. I also do believe that Q1 is going to be much better than the last 2 months. We'll see if I'm right, but just for now, yeah, take your time, step back. If you're not in the market, if you are insecure about what's going to happen, then just, you know what, pull the plug out, enjoy the time with your family, come back on the 1st of January. That's my advice. Last but not least, also something that I've seen, you've seen the entire market today is going down. S&P 500, Dow Jones, Nasdaq, all the European stock markets are going down. Also oil and gold. So pretty much every asset is going down, not only crypto. Where is the money going? Most likely cash. Some people might sell off their losing positions at the end of the year, especially in the States, because apparently they're getting tax reductions then if they make the loss official. So and then they could be rotating in other assets. But right now, if everything is going down, whatever the reason is, because we're overbought, because of Corona, because of rotation in the market, it doesn't matter actually. Then usually the positions are in cash. So let's see where this will end up at the rest of the week. I also absolutely do not expect some kind of Christmas rally anymore, because today is the 20th. And then during this week, if I'm not mistaken, is Christmas. Yeah, that will be on Friday, 24th. Then everything really starts, and then during the weekend. So I think a lot of people already start going to their families. So yeah, that will be it. I think it will be a bit of a quiet market. Maybe some stocks, maybe some assets will wick up and down. That's then a few big whales are standing on the sidelines. Just be careful.